Hey kid, it's DJ. If you want to just give me a call back, got some ideas for you. I was thinking maybe we're going to rehash The Office again. I'm just kidding. It's the Rogue Brandon Kirk, and you're listening to Uncorked with Kit.
Holler if you hear me.
Meowdy, y'all, and welcome to the 14th edition of Uncorked with Kit. Today is Wednesday, March 31st, 2021, and my guest today has most definitely done more than most have in the short amount of time that she's been wrestling. She's moved like 8 million times, stood toe-to-toe with some of the best in professional wrestling, and even had her own show on what is the biggest week-long wrestling extravaganza there is. Her and I have developed a great relationship over the last couple years. She's very genuine, she's very funny, she's brave, she's a warrior. I guess you could say she's a real cool cat. Ugh. Anyway, please enjoy my conversation with Alley Cat. Alley Cat.
Hello. Do you see me? What's going on?
Yeah, no, you're freezing already. You're already my worst guest. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah. Yes.
No, actually, it's a breath of fresh air because anybody else I ever have on here takes forever. I don't get it. I can't figure it out. And I'm like, dude, you just press the fucking button that says accept. That's it. But that's really
friend
difficult
request?
for people.
Click.
Yeah. All right. So this is Uncorked with Kit, and then what are you drinking?
I didn't really feel like uncorking a bottle of wine, so I have a box of wine.
That was like coconut water. So, every show I pick a bottle of wine, I go to the store, and then I get a bottle of wine that I think fits the person that I'm interviewing. And yours has to be my absolute favorite because I walked in and I saw this shit, and I'm like pretty damn proud that I found it. So
it's like a cat. It's the one that's shaped like a cat.
yeah, it is. Yeah, it's
Yes!
like a cat.
Yes.
It's called what the fuck is it called? Cat Bottle Riesling. And then it has like this other shit that I can't pronounce, like Qualitat Swain. I'm sure it's gonna taste just great. Or whatever. But
Let's try.
I was so excited to find that, like, because I was like, ooh, what am I gonna find? Let's look for keywords like brave and inspirational, like things that you guys like to hear,
Shut up.
Yeah, I'm a terrible person. All right. As I crack this thing open, I have a bunch of questions, weird questions from some fans, which all together I have to like bring it up because you probably get shit like that every single day. So for a brief,
on here yet?
huh?
Have you had like a women's wrestler on here yet?
No, you're the first ever.
All right. Yeah. Have fun.
Yeah. So for the brief 2-day period, when I had that little like, hey, ask a question on Instagram, like I now know what I now get to see you guys go through to a very, very small degree,
Right.
as if, I didn't know that I was supposed to, that my show was about setting you up with random, gross, creepy fans. But apparently that's the new gimmick.
She's single. Let's go. This is a dating show now.
Right. So while I get started, why don't we just start with a non-related question just to get the ball rolling? It was the one that was favorite and least favorite, White Claw.
Oh, okay. Listen, there's a new pack of White Claw out, and I haven't been able to try it yet. So this could change soon. Oh, Game Changer's on here. Who is it? Is it Brett? Hello, Brett. I don't know. Okay, I think lime or mango is like my least favorite.
Least favorite?
Yeah, I don't know.
Fuck out of here. They're like my favorite ones.
I hate starting with one of those. But lemon tastes just like Sprite. So lemon's usually good to start with, or raspberry. But I have a feeling the strawberry one's gonna be really good. I don't know.
You never had strawberry? It's all right.
It's the new one. You've never had it either.
Oh, I didn't know it was a different like type of strawberry. I had no idea.
You're lying out your ass.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess, yeah, game changer. Brett, thank you. You're always so nice to me. That desperate to promote Alley Cat's real hot girl shit. You know. Thanks, Brett. Appreciate it as always.
Brett, hey,
Let's try this.
we've had a
Yeah.
long day, Kit. All right, we've had a long day.
I feel like this wine. It looks like it's some type of like genie in a bottle shit. But I'm gonna keep it unless you want it. I'll give it to you.
Like, is it a red wine?
No, it's not. It's a Riesling, so it's like white.
Extravagant red bottle. I always have seen it in a black bottle, so I've never seen a red one.
They had a blue and a white one. That was all I saw. You know, so it is what it is. There's like 2 sips in it. So that's why I bought another wine
Oh,
because I'm an alcoholic.
we love it.
Oh, I love it. So anyway, all right, that's your least favorite, and then you said strawberry that you didn't try yet. You think?
I think strawberry is going to be like a winner.
Well, what is it now?
I don't know. Oh, I think maybe raspberry. Oh, lemon.
Oh, lemon is okay. All right.
The first time I drank the lemon one, I went, "This is dangerous."
Oh, Jesus Christ. Dude, they're good for you. You know, low in calories. You know, they make you think. Alcohol, it's the answer. So you're ever nervous, you get ready for a match. No, I'm just kidding. Oh my God, I can't read these. Oh, Brett. So, actually, why don't we just get right into it? These weird ass questions that I get. And I'm only going to say some of them, but like, they're just, most of them are really similar in that, like, ask you what she smells like. You're like, what the fuck? Obviously, like shit. Like, like, what do you want? Like cat litter. But no, they ask like stupid questions like that, and then they're like, "Hey, tell her that I really like her," and I'm just like, "Oh, okay." And I'm like, so I'm not naming names on the show, but I'll run them down for you later.
The ruckus is in here. Hi, besties.
Shit. What is and this was like I guess like a cute fan. He goes, "What is Miss Alley the Cat's favorite Lady Gaga song?" And ask her if she really liked the crochet doll that she made.
Oh,
So you have some pretty cute fans, like that outweigh those shitty ones.
Hold on. Give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds.
All right. And she's listening. So anyway, again, the Victory Institute. So if you donate to it, LGBTQ, do your research.
I'm blown up. Okay, look at this.
Holy shit.
I bet you don't have a fucking doll of yourself, Kit.
Actually, I do, motherfucker. I had somebody make me an action figure.
Okay, well, an action figure, you just take a fucking Zack Ryder, you pop the body off because you don't have muscles, and you just paint it a little bit, and then there you have a Kit fucking thing. But I have a doll crocheted with love. Thank you so much. Look at that. Look at that.
That is really cute.
I ran up the stairs and I ran back down the stairs.
Jeez.
Ready for it?
I should have just told you ahead of time. But I think like fans like that, Allie, like they outweigh all the terrible ones, like all the ones that I make fun of, like, that I over exaggerate, but they're real and they're out there. Like the ones that just criticize you no matter what, like you can't do anything right.
Anytime
And then,
this, I'm like, okay, all right. I'll stick around. There's cool people. All right.
yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, there's the ones that like tell her I secretly love her. Like, shit like that. So, if you're really looking for somebody, these are all a bunch of keepers.
I'm this close.
You're definitely going to hit me up after this. I know it.
I'm one heartbreak away to just settling on the next one. Let's go.
Oh, man. Next one. Why haven't you and Kit tagged or haven't you kicked his ass?
Well, the first question is obviously answered by the second one. I fucking hate him.
You do.
Hi, Giancarlo. Kit Kat will never be a thing. It's never going to be a thing.
No.
We hate each other.
We do. And in real life, like we're just you're just tolerating me. I'm promoting something for you.
Yeah,
You
this
know,
is this is
alley
called
kit
brother. Business, brother.
business. We know how to work.
And why haven't we wrestled yet? I don't know. We're in a pandemic. There's like a match a month.
Yeah.
I mean, Kit didn't get booked before that, but
Yep. Keep bringing it on. Brett's listening anyway. So, uh, and then here's another one. Do you have an OnlyFans?
yo, if I get asked this one more time, no. I do not have the like mental capacity to make extra content. Already I'm burnt out on like content, and then to make like special content that's hidden behind a paywall, I can't do it. It's too much. I just want to go to bed.
I feel like the second you would get like a payday out of that, like, I mean, your mind would be completely different. Like,
Well,
yo,
I can't take you should watch me try to take promo photos. It is the most excruciating thing ever for me to try to take a promo photo. Like, I cannot take myself seriously. So for me to like have to
there's so many, like, I watch some of these people, they have like a million different poses that are all unique, and I have like one, and that's it. It's the only thing I got. I'm like, oh, what am I gonna put my arms crossed? Would I make funny faces? Like, I don't.
I cannot take myself seriously. Like, I'm like, okay, did we get it? Thank you.
Yeah. I still, it's, maybe you're the same as me. Like, I don't take myself serious. Like, even when there's like, multiple cameras in front of me, I had like the Philly Inquirer, like, do a question thing with me and like ask for me. And I'm like, dude, like, who lied to you about me? Like, like, and I don't even know how to, like, I mean, I can keep the straight face, but I'm just like, dude, they're going to find out.
Yeah,
They're going to find out real fucking quick.
Incredible. That's exactly how I feel. I'm like, yo, I cannot be serious hot girl. That's someone else's job. I'm the funny one. I'm sorry.
At the end of it, really, you've done a lot. You're out there a lot. You travel over the world, and people pay for it. Like, I've told the story a million times. It's like anytime I get to travel anywhere, I'm at like the airport by myself, like 7 a.m, Spirit, not bragging, and then I go to like, whatever bar is open for degenerates at 7 a.m, and I'm just like sitting there with like a family that's like going to like Disney World or whatever, and I'm just like, ask me why I'm flying. Ask me why I'm flying. Ask me. I'm like, oh, hey, what do you guys flying at Disney? Like, yeah, what are you doing? Because I'm a wrestler. Somebody's paying me to do this shit.
You're a loser.
And then you get on the flight and they fall asleep. But like, it's still surreal, and I don't think I'll ever get used to it.
Right.
So I don't know. How do you feel?
I feel like, so I always like was like in and out of places, and then I finally was like, you have to enjoy this. Like, I need to like enjoy this while I can. So especially while I was like homeless 2 years ago, I would stay a whole weekend, and I got to like hang out in Chicago, and I flicked the bean, and then I hung out in Philly, and I would hang out in
Flick the bean.
and I finally started like seeing these places instead of just showing up, wrestling, going to my room, going to sleep, and leaving. Like, now I hang out, and I see places like when we went to Cali for GCW and Las Vegas and all this stuff. Like, it's so cool. Like, I actually now travel and see the world instead of just like wrestling and seeing a VF Hall and then going to bed.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's not even just like cool places like California or places where you're just hanging out with your friends at a bar or whatever, but it's those weird ones, like ones that you'll never go to on your own. Like, like I don't want to go to where the hell, like Milwaukee. Like, I'm never going to go out of my way to go to Milwaukee.
Right.
So like, why don't I look up what's there, and I think, in Milwaukee, like the first thing that comes up, and I'm like, this must be the biggest attraction, is like the hotel that Jeffrey Dahmer made his like first kill. And I'm like, I want to go to that room. Like,
I'm saying, I love like the little like, like seeing the Hollywood sign is cool and all, but like when we went to California, I was like, I have to go to Trejo's Donuts. Like, I have to go. Like, this has been a dream of mine for years. And so like we made a stop, and I got to go to Trejo's Donuts and eat his donuts, and like one was shaped like a machete. Like, it was the coolest thing. I was like, okay, well, I'm good. I did what I wanted to do. I guess we can go to the Hollywood sign. I don't care, but I'm eating this fucking donut.
It is. It's those little things. It's you know. I mean, there are those people that go to like New York and they just want to get like the slice of pizza or whatever, and then they go to like fucking franchise, but like they just had to eat it there. But I always appreciated like those little things, or like just trying to find. Like when I went to Chicago for like the first time, it was below zero, so it sucked. And all I really wanted to do was find the Home Alone house, you know, like that was it. And then I took a picture in front of it, miserable, you know, hungover, and at like 8 a.m, and then I'm just like, yeah, but I did it. Like,
Yeah, I fucking did it.
yeah, it's like, so. Where's been your favorite place to travel?
That's hard. I would maybe okay, like it's a toss up. Like I want to say New York, but like I'm also like don't want to say New York because like
You just did.
I don't know. I really like the dive bar we went to in Las Vegas was fun. I don't know. Wait, can I say like Texas? Because I don't live there anymore.
Yeah, but that's where you're from. So your favorite place to travel to is where you've lived most of your life?
Yes, bitch. Yes, because
Okay.
I got to go back to Austin like a few weekends ago, and like, oh my god, it was so good. But other than that, probably New
Is
York.
it open? Like, is it open that you can go out and do stuff?
So literally, I went there for that weekend, and then the next weekend they were like, "All right, we're open and no masks." And I went, "Dodge that bullet! What the fuck?" I didn't like go out, so I didn't see. Like I just kind of like did my own thing and visited all my places. And I went to like one bar, but it was like a small like local bar with some like
Right.
old wine. So I didn't see like downtown 6th Street. So I don't know. And then is that not like Florida? Probably Florida. Whew.
Florida is like the Wild West.
Y'all
Like,
are
there's
wild.
just no fucking rules there at all. Like,
No.
you know, if you know, like when you would do like a no piece or whatever, and you would just go out after, you're just like, wow, these people look at us like we're assholes for wearing a mask. You know, like it's almost they look at us the same way that we would look at people wearing a mask like 2 years ago, and you would like get that fucking person away from me. You know.
What that last No Peace show I did, like when we all like I was hungry, so it's like I went to go get pizza and I was like against the wall, like, can you not?
Oh, yeah.
Can you fucking not? Can you get away from me, y'all? Like, yo, it was scary.
Yeah.
Can't wait to be back next week. Woo!
Oh yeah, I know. We're gonna literally 1 week from now. It's gonna be. I'll probably make it 3 days, you know, and then that's it. And then the rest of it, I'll just be like, you won't be able to find me.
This is like my first real Mania. So like I don't
Really?
know. So I did Mania in New York, but like I didn't really count it because I was living in New York with Max at the time.
Yeah.
So I would just drive back home every night. And then drive back down.
So yeah, it wasn't as like the real experience. Like, you know, that experience of getting an Airbnb in a bad area that it looks really good,
Yeah.
you know, but obviously it's not, you know, like too many times. Like I was like that in New Orleans where I get an Airbnb and then I was getting with Marcus Crane and then I leave the door open for them and he opens up the door and then like it was like my dad yelling at me and scorning me. He's like, "Did you leave the fucking door open? Do you have any idea what's going on out there?" And I'm just like, "Dude, holy shit, Marcus, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it." You know? He's like, "I'm really disappointed." You know?
Marcus Crane being the voice of reason. Okay.
Yeah.
Good job. Good job.
So since we're on the topic of like of Mania, let's talk about your show. Alley Katz, Real Hot Girl Shit. Did you come up with the name with that?
I did, because it's an all women show and I wanted it to have a fun name. Okay, so here's the thing. I didn't know this was gonna be like a multiple time thing. This was a one-time thing. So I was like, yeah, just name it Real Hot Girl Shit. Fuck it. That's cute. That's fun.
I think it's catchy.
We did it again and I was like, okay. So it's just called Real Hot Girl Shit? Fine. My goal is for one day Megan Thee Stallion to notice it and show up. I want her to be at my show.
Okay. I mean, That was really from the heart right there.
I want to marry Megan.
Well, I think we should if people can share that statement, then I don't see why it couldn't happen eventually.
Yeah, the 30 people in here, please get Meg's attention and tell her I love her.
Yeah, but there's a lot more people that download this shit on Spotify. So
This is on Spotify?
Yeah, I do it. So I do the video thing because I like the way it works, the FaceTime. I like being able to have people see it live, and then I save it to the Instagram. But when I put it on Spotify, it's easier for people to listen, and then, like last week with Effie, I had like over 100 downloads in like a week. And I was like, downloads? I'm like, who the fuck downloads shit? But whatever. So it's nice. So this 33 people or whatever, this is just because I'm unpopular on Instagram, because all I post is shit of my face, edited Photoshop pictures of me looking jacked,
Couldn't be me. God bless you. But real hot girl shit. It's next week, next Friday at 11 a.m. now, which is great because then I can get a little day drunk before I have to wrestle again at midnight. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
That's actually pretty nice. You get a little calm down, take a nap, oversleep. It'll be great.
Last Tampa, original Tampa, I had 10 bookings.
Yeah.
This Tampa, I only got 3. And you know what? I'm chilling. You other people, y'all can have them. Y'all can wrestle 10 times. I'm coming in on a Wednesday. I'm partying on Wednesday, partying on Thursday, a little bit of business on Friday, doing brunch on Saturday, partying on Saturday. Fuck it. I've watched you drink, and you are done. Yeah. You are done by like 9:30, and then at that point you're like, hey, you want a drink? And I'm like, you just bought me one. Listen, either accept the free drink and say thank you.
Of course I accept it.
Get out of
my... You think I'm not? Like, what am I, little Mary? I'm not gonna...
I spend all day waiting and waiting. Yo, this last GCW show, I was like semi, and I was so angry. I was like, Brett, I want to go to Wet Willie's. And so literally the moment I was done with my match, I was like, let's go, let's go, let's go. And I was double fisting because the person I was with didn't want to drink. So I said, okay, well, they only let you buy one. So you buy one, okay? So he bought one, and then I just took it, and it was like, and I almost got kicked out of the Hard Rock Cafe casino because of it.
I see that happening. Nice.
I was roughhousing somebody, and the security guard was like, miss, what are you doing? And I was like,
you're like, you know who I am?
I was like, I'm good. I was like, I'm just playing. Sorry.
Oh my God.
God bless.
So what I also, what I wanted to get in with you was a couple of things. So you dabble in deathmatch wrestling. You're a deathmatch wrestler now,
Don't say I'm a wrestler. You're gonna piss people off.
Oh, it's the worst. It's all people are gonna look at you as, if that's the first thing they see.
The middle line. So people are gonna be like, oh, she's a deathmatch wrestler, and then the other people are like, she's not a fucking deathmatch wrestler. Someone else should have gotten that fucking spot. Fuck her.
So that's what I wanted to talk about, because that fan criticism is it's almost like I feel like unless you're not LuFisto, then you can't be you're not allowed to be funny. You're not allowed to be like a hybrid. You're not allowed to be funny. You're not allowed to have regular matches, and you can't be a deathmatch wrestler at the same time. And I'm like, well, I don't understand why. It's like I can do that. And nobody's ever questioned it. They're always like, why would you book Kit anyway? But that besides that, it's like I can be a heel. I can be a serious heel. I can be a funny heel, and I can be anything. So it's like why can't you? So that was one of the things I wanted to bring up. But with deathmatch wrestling, before we actually get in the fan criticism about women in wrestling, that I feel like you guys sometimes get way overjudged. And then also at the same time, there's this weird, giving you the benefit of the doubt type of shit. When you're asking for criticism, it's like I'm allowed to tell you, hey, your punches sucked, and then I'm also allowed to tell and I'm also allowed to, at the same point to, tell you, hey, your match was great and all that. And then I just don't understand like the talking behind the back. So it's more of like people are like afraid to say it to your face, like, hey, your punches suck, that it wasn't believable, and then you're like they think you're gonna like, freak out at them. And it's like, no, everybody wants to get better. So
that was the worst thing about, that's like one of the worst things about being a women's wrestler is everyone's afraid to like hurt the girls' feelings, because they just like, they don't want to get in trouble. And so that was one of the reasons why I left Texas, was because I felt like my progress was like this, like, every match I learned a little bit, but not enough. And then it's the hooligans would come to Texas and they would wrestle at ACW. And then I went to Party Hard in Arizona and they wrestled there too. And that's when they started to like warm up to me and they started to like talk to me and like be nice to me. And they would watch my match and I would ask them and they would watch it and they'd give me real critique. And that's like, Devin was like, hey, like your strikes are like really bad. Like you really got to work on them. And I was like, I've never heard that before. Tell me what to do. Like, and he showed me. And then the next time he saw me a month later and he goes, they got a lot better. Like, keep working on it. Keep remembering to do. Perfect. Oh, I'm sorry. My phone said something. And so like the next month he would see me and the next month he would see me and he'd keep seeing me get better. And it was like, okay, good. I need to be around more people who are going to tell me like it is and tell me what fucking sucks, so I can progress every weekend instead of every fucking month, dude. Like, because you would ask people and they'd be like, yeah, like the crowd sounded good. Okay.
Like what that same statement is like, oh, okay, so maybe I should just go out there and ask the fans how my punches were. Like maybe I should ask the fans like, like, was it believable? And then like, really bring them in so that next time that I come in and wrestle, they can tell their friends like, yeah, I actually told her about this. Like, you're like, dude, that's why we separate the walls, even though I'm kind of contradicting myself as everybody's listening. But
it's like, oh, whoops. But that's a huge thing, is like people don't want to hurt girls' feelings. But I feel like dudes won't tell other dudes it either. And it's like, no, like we have, like, I'll tell people straight up, but there's a way, like, I don't know, maybe there's a way. Like I learned it being a manager at other jobs. It's called the sandwich, compliment, thing they got to work on, compliment. So it's like,
right.
They liked how you did this. You kicked me straight in the face when you did this. Don't fucking do that again. But that was good. Like,
and it's the same as when we call matches. If somebody wants to do something and it clearly, like, in our head does not make sense, you can't just say, hey, idiot, that's fucking stupid, and then what do you think's going to happen? They're going to be like, oh, all right, well, then fuck the match. And then you're like, oh, no.
That was a fucking asshole. I'm like, no.
Yeah. It's just like, hey, like, I like that idea, but why don't we put it here? And then I was thinking, I do this, and then you bring it in, and they go, yeah, and you meet in the middle. And it's the same as like when we talk and criticize. Like, I want to be told, that something was terrible, something I need to work on, because otherwise we're never ever going to get better. And then, unless I'm fucking Hogan, who's been doing it, making millions of dollars, like, I don't think, he gives a shit what you're going to say, but, we do, obviously. But with like that criticism, I think that women wrestlers get, that like it annoys me, because like, if you had something that, like, obviously I'm an asshole for most part, but I'm like, I try to be funny and all that, but then there are times where I can be really serious and I want to like, all right, well, serious,
you can just be perfect. Like, that's the thing, is like, don't say women's wrestlers suck and there's no good women's wrestlers and there's this and that, but then you don't want to elevate the ones that are there. Like make it make sense. Like, which one do you want? Or is it? Well,
it's because like you if you can't tell, like, they're the kind of people that just don't want it to excel. They want the like the Sunnies to come out and want it to stay that way. And those are those type of fans. Like, they are like that. And then that's where they have that little bit of criticism, and then they never have anything good to say. Like, there's no words of encouragement. It's just, no, you sucked. you should stay and you should do this. Like, have you thought about being a valet? You know, like, you're like,
And like nothing
just
wrong
gonna kill
with
you in real life.
having the sunnies. Like there's a spot for everybody. There's a niche to fill for everyone. But it's like also at this point, it's like I'm gonna listen to the people. I'm gonna listen to my peers. And if you don't like what I do, that's fine. Go watch the other one because I don't know. It's like I've learned this year you literally cannot please everyone, and you have to stop crying and killing yourself over the ones you can't please and just focus on pleasing the people that you do please even more. It's like stop wasting your energy trying to gain it. Like, have you seen that episode of Parks and Rec where Leslie goes bowling? Do you watch Parks and Rec?
I've watched some episodes, but I didn't see this episode.
Okay, so there's an episode where she's like running for a governor, and she does like a circle where like a bunch of random people watch an ad for her, and they're like, "Okay, what did you think about this candidate?" And everyone's like, "Oh, I like her. She seems like this." Blah blah blah. And one guy in the room was like, "I don't like her. Like, she doesn't seem like I could like hang out with her and go bowling with her." And she just hyper fixates on this one. So 9 people in the room loved her, but one guy was like, eh. And so she literally sets up this huge like bowling thing to take him bowling. She bowls with him all night instead of focusing on the like tens of people who loved her in the room. Instead of talking to them, she fixates on one dude the whole night. And still at the end of the night, he's like, "Yeah, I'm still not going to vote for you." So it's like, I think where you literally cannot please everybody. So stop trying to convert these people into liking you and just spend your energy on the people that do like you. Like, fuck those people. There's one for every 50 people that like you.
I feel like I need to subscribe to your newsletter because that's the shit that I do. You know, like let me just fixate on this one person that really pisses me off, and then the other one that does. And then as there's like a million other people that are just like, "Hey man, I really liked your match," and I'm just like, yeah, fuck off. But like this guy, you know,
that's you trying to feed your ego and get validated by that. Listen, I've read
that, and you're also trying to like, you're trying to like figure out what you're doing wrong, and then you're also trying to get over. But I mean, there's a million different questions that go through your head when somebody's saying something negative. When somebody's saying something positive, most of the time it's if you're not, you know, somebody that's patting yourself on the back. You're just somebody that just listens. It goes one ear right out the other because you're just too focused on the negative things that you're doing. So yeah. I mean, that really is the right way to think, especially with like shitty fans like that. Shitty fans and shitty wrestlers that just like haven't evolved. Like I was talking about it with Effie, you know, Effie last week, and we were just discussing about how like, you know, wrestling just there's people that don't want to evolve. They don't want to change with it. You know, like our generation changes wrestling because of how we are outside of wrestling. You know, and we bring it in with us, and those older people that can't adapt to it, you know, it's life passes them by, you know, like they live too long, you know, it's either you retire or, you know, you fucking
become the villain.
Yeah, whatever.
You live long enough to become
and that's really how it is. Like if you know, and I feel like I bring up Jordan Oliver a lot in my show because I love Jordan Oliver.
Me too.
And the way I look at it is like there were too many. Now, I mean, it doesn't necessarily count. Like he probably did what you just said, and he only focused on the good. Whereas, like, I feel like somebody like me, I focused way too much on the bad. But he focused
on himself. Like, literally, I thought it, like, okay, so rewind to a year ago. Little skinny twink boy with his group, and he said fuck a lot, and he was just, like, had a chip on his shoulder. And Jim Cornette was like, well, fuck these 2 fucking choreographed dancers, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
And then lockdown happened. He, like, killed it in the gym. Ate food, watched a lot of wrestling.
He ate food.
He breakfast. He gained like 40 fucking pounds, but is still able to do the same things he did, is still as agile. Like, he worked on himself, and look at him now. Like, he's getting flown to all these places when 2 years ago he was at fucking CZW Dojo Wars. Like,
he's one of those dudes that, you know, that I would look at and I just go, well, I mean, one, he's dedicated. He's dedicated
Mm-hmm.
to it. He loves it, and he really thrives off of the criticism, but he's
Yeah.
also super fucking humble at the same time. So whenever I would hear, the criticism of him, and I go, yeah, I mean, there's obviously things that, like, he can work on just like any one of us, like there's anything that he can do. It's just that, but I mean, I'm pretty sure that he's working at a pretty goddamn good pace.
He is.
So
He talks
everything
to the
he's
locker
going
room.
to do is just going to get better and better, and that's along with his look, physique, and everything. So like, there's really no criticism, and he's always going to listen and hear it, and he's going to only listen to what he needs to hear, not just what he wants to hear. So, and he's smart enough to do that. But I just feel like, I mean, before, it's not really like this anymore. But a year ago, I would be saying this, and it would just be like, I'm pretty sure he knows what he's doing. And I mean, just not just because like he doesn't need to listen, because everybody needs to listen, but and he is a listener. They just don't know that he is.
Like, you have to sit under the right tree. Like, obviously, I'm not going to sit under the tree of all of these random fans on my Twitter. I'm going to sit under the tree of the people that are in the positions I want to be in. And that's what Jordan did. Jordan just sat under the learning tree of all the higher ups and the vets in the locker room. And now look at him.
Yeah.
Look at all the awesome matches he has coming up. Like, that's what you have to do. That's why I moved. That's why I do what I do, is I'm like, okay, I'm in this place. I want to get to this place. So I need to listen and follow these people here so I can level up. That's all you have to do. Like, why would I listen to these people when I'm here? I need to listen to these people. Duh.
Right. And yeah,
So
you
that's
are
what you
right.
need to do, Kit.
Huh?
That's what you need to do.
Yeah. Thanks for criticizing me. Let me listen to you. But I mean, he's not wrong. And then and I'm definitely I'm guilty of it. In like smaller doses now than it was before, where like it would be at CZW, and then I just kept doing the same thing, insanity, and just expecting a different result until I finally listened to like Drew and Brett, and then I just like, and I was like, dude, I'm out. Like, I'm out. And it's like, if I'm out and like I've been this like loyal person that didn't get shit or whatever, I'm either both I'm dumb, and then also, wow, like one, I'm probably, everybody already knows I'm dumb, but the other one is, they're like, wow, if Kit finally came to his fucking senses, that means, CZW's real shithole. Like, so I'm like, wow, all right, let me just fucking take that. I don't know how to take that, but like I said, like, I mean, we're all learning, and I've, to be honest, in the 11, 12 weeks I've been doing this show, like, I've probably learned more than I did, by just going to different shows every week, because I get a chance to talk to different mindsets of everybody. And that's really the whole goal of like this entire show. At least, it's something I can get out of it. And I think something like every fan can get out of it. And plus, I mean, the 32 fans here that are 34 that are watching are just looking at your pretty eyes. And then they're going to still look at Spotify and go to Spotify after. And then they're going to actually fucking listen to it. They're like, oh, wow, she actually makes sense too. Like,
I know. What if girl have boob, why make sense? If girl have fat ass, why smart brain? I went to college. Like, there's so many things that, like, when I talk to people, they're like, wow, that makes sense. They're like, wow, you get it, Allie. And I'm like, yeah, it's weird. It's like women have opinion. Women have good idea.
So brave and inspirational. Like, you're a warrior.
People can do hard things. Shout out to Gaga.
Next question. No, you're right. So what got you into wrestling as a fan? Shut the fuck up. What got you into wrestling as a fan, and then what drove you to start training?
Ooh, okay. So it's like a two-part. So like,
yeah, two questions.
I'm 28, so I like kind of grew up in the Attitude Era, blah blah blah. So like, I was obviously a fan as a kid. I fucking loved the Hardy Boys, and I loved the Dudley Boys. Like, I loved all that shit growing up. And then the friend that I watched wrestling with, I moved away, so I wasn't watching wrestling anymore. So I kind of fell off as I grew up. But then around like college, I started dating this guy. And so this was before the network. I started dating this guy, and he liked wrestling like nostalgically. So he didn't like watch Raw and SmackDown
Right. Yeah.
He like
Casual fan.
nostalgically. So like we would watch stuff on YouTube, and I'll never forget. We watched the 2000 Armageddon 6-way Hell in a Cell match. Like, this is the same answer. You can go to like any interview or any podcast. I watched the Armageddon 6-man Hell in a Cell match, and I was like, yo, I love wrestling again. Like, that match put me right back in. And so I started watching wrestling. And then we broke up, but I still would kind of like stay in wrestling. And then I started dating this other guy who actively watched Raw and SmackDown. So I started getting into like what was going on presently. And then the next guy I dated, it's like I started just dating guys who liked wrestling. And then I went to a music festival in Austin called Fun Fest.
Okay.
And had live wrestling there. Like, so they had like 3 stages. They had like a skate ramp, and then they had a wrestling ring, and it was like all the local Austin places all did wrestling there. Like, this music festival was so cool. And I'd never seen independent wrestling. I didn't know independent wrestling existed because nobody told me. I just thought these people got plucked out of thin air and put on TV. Like, I didn't know. So that was the first time I ever saw Ricky Starks, my best friend. I'll never forget it. I looked at him and I was like, this guy looks like he's a TV guy. Like, this must be legit. Like, I watched it. So I found out about the local wrestling in my area, like Inspire Pro, Anarchy Championship Wrestling. And then Booker T owns a school in Houston.
Yeah.
And he would run these things for fans, like they were fan camps where fans could pay money to go for a day, and you would like work out with his trainees, his wrestlers, and then you could like do things like they would let you run the ropes, and you could like
smart motherfucker. Like,
dude, it was like, it's expensive and fans will do it. Like, when I went, there were people who were like, yeah, this is like the 3rd one I've done. And I'm like, yo, what? But like, you would like, his students would teach you how to do like a headlock or how to lock up. And you would do it for a day, and you'd get like a t-shirt, and that was it. Like, it's a very smart thing. And it was very cute. But and it's also a way to recruit people to go to your school, obviously. But I went, and after I did that, I was like, could I do this? I could do this. And I went back to Austin because it was in Houston. And then I found my boyfriend at the time. He worked with somebody who was at a wrestling school.
Okay.
And I like linked up with that guy. And then I went to the wrestling school, and I immediately joined. It was tax return season, so I had a whole fuck ton of money. And I was like, down payment.
Yeah.
Here months. And I started wrestling. Hi. 6 years later, here I am. Hi.
Oh man, that's great. When it's funny that you said, well, tax return season. Mine was high school graduation money, and I was just like, with Maven Bentley, I was like, wham, there you go. And then like,
like
it was awesome.
And then started wrestling.
Say that again.
Like, I quit school. Like, I was in college, and then I was like, I ain't getting any younger, baby. Let's go. Zoop.
God. That's awesome, actually. And then, I mean, honestly, Booker T's little that concept of just like, hey, yeah, I have like fans a whole day thing, and then they come in there, they get the experience, they get to get in a ring, and then they get to run the ropes. It's like, $200.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
I paid $100 maybe. But it's like,
still, like, that's fucking awesome.
You show up and like you stretch, like you're in gym clothes, and it's like you literally work out. So it's like, I was in there doing like Hindu squats and jumping jacks. And I was like, I paid $100 to work out. Are you fucking kidding?
It's kind of not any different than like a personal training session, you know, like that. I mean, obviously most people get like a free session, but you know, like, I mean, most of them probably needed it, you know, like it's fine. It was a good thing. Everybody made out like a bandit. They went home and they felt like $1 million, told their friends they're wrestlers now.
Dude, yeah, like it. So obviously Booker T is there, so all day I get to hang out with Booker T. And when I went to, Animal was there. So like I'm literally like learning how to lock up, and Animal's sitting there like, that's a good lockup, girl. And I'm like, you think so? Really? So like obviously I go home and I tell my boyfriend, I'm like, yo, Animal and Booker T said I had a good lockup. Yeah. So looking back, I'm like, thank you for giving me my money's worth. Thanks for working me. But also like that's their job. Like,
Yeah. But and then it drove you into doing it. And I mean, hey, listen.
which generates more money in the
Have
business.
you talked? I mean, did you start training at that Booker T school? Right.
So I talked to them because like I was so hyped up that I was like, I'm going to move to Houston. I'm going to train here. I'm going to do this. So I was considering moving to Houston and training with Booker T. But then as I was like figuring all that out, the logistics of moving to Houston, like I found out there was a school in Austin. So I was like, oh, never mind. I'm going to go to this one because I already live here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which
I mean,
I'm glad.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's the school that you went to in Austin?
It's called America's Academy of Professional Wrestling, AAPW. I was trained by George Della Isla, who's like, obviously nobody knows who he is. Like, everybody knows who the fuck Booker T is. Nobody knows who my trainer is, but that's fine. Like,
who cares? It doesn't matter. Like, some of the people that have never done anything, they do have a lot of the best knowledge when it comes to basics and training and moves, just maybe not getting over. You know?
Exactly. Like, that's fine. He used to like, he's old too. Like he's old. Like he used to wrestle Roddy Piper. Like there's photos of him in the ring with Piper.
Cool.
So like he was very much like my teachings were very like basic centered. Like I spent months and months going over a side headlock takedown. Like what the fuck? I never learned.
Love that.
Exactly. Like I spent months and months on lockups, side headlock takedowns, wrist locks, like running the ropes, my footwork, all that. Like I would have to come in if I wanted to learn like a different move. Like I couldn't be like, hey George, like how do I do a cannonball in the corner? He'd be like, girl, I don't know what that is. What the hell are you talking about? And I'm like, sorry, never mind. But then his like older students would know because they're on the indies, like Ricky Starks. So like Ricky Starks and I were trained by the same person, and that's why like
okay. Yeah.
So like me, Ricky, Laney Luck, Cody Lane, Christy James, like we were all trained at that same school. So we would all, George loved me. I lived 2 streets down from George. So I would drive him to training every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So he gave me a key. So I would just get to go whenever I wanted, and we would just get to fuck around and learn stuff. Like, right. Hey, like this new sequence I want to do. Okay, let's go.
It's even now. Like, I mean, just yesterday I was at Tremont School with somebody.
His students are insane. What the fuck?
Oh, they know exactly what they're doing. They're so good, all of them. But it was me and somebody else who hurt his knee, and that's all I'll say. We were in the ring, and he wanted to like kind of figure some shit out, and then like we're in there, and I'm like, you know, I need to do this more often. Like I'm like, there's things that we can work on with somebody of like the same caliber, just like that one-on-one. But one of the things that like, you know, we get tired of is like, I don't want to go to a wrestling training. Like, I don't want to wait my turn, you know, like I'm that entitled to being like, yeah, I deserve this. Like, you know, but I'm just like, I don't want to lose the adrenaline as I'm doing it. But you get like, once you know somebody and you're like, you're trained, you get the key and you're just like, yeah. And then you're like, dude, if this was like fucking 15-year-old me with like a key to like a trainer's place that has a wrestling ring in it with like mild lighting, you know, and you're just like, dude, this is it, bucket list, you know. And then
especially when you just get to go with who you want, because you just go with who you want because everyone's on the same page, and you don't have to wait on like the people who are playing wrestler. Like you don't have to wait on the dudes that are like, oh yeah, like can't really like roll today, my shoulder. I'm like, then get the fuck out of here. Like,
yeah, I don't have time.
All the play wrestlers, it was just like me. It would be like me, Cody, Ricky, Laney, Chrissy. Like we'd be like, let's go work on stuff. Let's go. Yeah. And then we go and we do dumb shit. And then we'd be like, okay, cool. Let's go to Whataburger afterwards. And then you go.
Right. It's all about that, like that adrenaline that doesn't stop with like the certain people that you're wrestling with. You're going to learn something. It's just that, you know, you have that, then you're like, hey, let's do practice matches. And you're like, yeah, you have no crowd in there, but I have all the adrenaline in the world. And you're just like, fucking yeah, like, let's do this, you know? And then,
Exactly.
you know, but you can't do that when like you keep losing adrenaline, you keep coming back. Or when it's like 20 fucking degrees. And then like every wrestling trainer on the planet is like, nah, we don't need the heat on. We're going to work it off. It's like, oh, yeah, not when you have like 30 students and I'm waiting my fucking turn. Like, you know, like, and my sweat just froze to my body.
I have never seen other than like the NXT PC, I've never seen a motherfucking training place that wasn't in like a garage. Like mine was in like our training place was next to like a car mechanic place. And like Cap in New York, it's the same thing. It's in like a mall thing that's next to like a car mechanic place. Like nobody has any heat and nobody has any air conditioning. So like you in the winter you're freezing your ass off, and then in Texas summer, oh my god, I was like dehydrated and dying.
Yeah, exactly. You're sweating and you're dead. But like, you know what? I would take that a million times over
Right.
Any cold. I hate the cold so fucking much. Like,
Thank you. I hate the cold.
You have no idea. You have no fucking clue. I mean, you lived in New York for like a minute. You have no idea what it's like living in Pennsylvania in this shithole area where like it's just like, oh yeah, today it's 20 degrees. You get in your car at 7, and then and you have leather seats because you're me. And then the next day it's like 60, and you're like, I don't know how to fucking handle this.
It's the same thing. Okay, but imagine being me, growing up in Texas, never seeing snow, and then all of a sudden I move to the Midwest and I see snow for the first time, and I'm like, I don't have a winter coat, Kit. I do not wear shoes.
Every day's been a dream. Go to fucking the Burlington Coat Factory. You're fine. Get over it. You know, I love snow. It's so great. Like, oh my god, it's so amazing.
Okay.
Like, snow sucks, and you just never had to shovel it. Shut your goddamn mouth. So like, anyway.
Like the first time, one of the first times I visited like Max in New York, it like snowed, and I was like, oh my god, it's like a movie. The snow
was like, shut the fuck up.
He literally looked at me, and he was like, what the fuck? And I'm just like, wow, the snow's like crunching under my feet, and it's so romantic. And then like 3 days later, I was like, I'm over it.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah. Imagine like having like dress shoes on, and you get out of the car and there's just nothing but snow. And then you go into like a job, and then you walk in, and then some fucking asshole like gets up at 4 a.m. and goes to the gym, looks at you, and they just go, oh my god, good morning. And you're just like, I hope your whole family passes away in front of you. Like, you know, and like
we hate the snow. Fuck the snow.
Yeah. I'm looking at places in Florida, and I'm just gonna wait until, you know, I get my little injection, and then I'll be all, you know, all about it. Oh, whatever. You know, I've actually never been to Texas, so I've always wanted to go.
You gotta go, and then you'll be like, oh, I want to go to Texas.
Well, I'm trying to tell. I don't know who the fucking. Hey, there's another one. This is the other one that I got. It's called Relax. You know, like every time I see you, when I first see you at any show, you're just like, Kid! And you run at me. I'm like, get the fuck away from me. You just wrestle, you know? And then I'm like,
it's definitely when I first see you, I'm like, go fuck yourself, Kid. Go die. And then
yeah, and then you turn around like, I didn't mean it. like you're so great and brave.
5 drinks later, I'm like, oh my god, Kid, how are you?
Let me buy you like 8 drinks. All right. We're getting at it. This is just like I feel like we're just talking. We're just talking like how we do when we see each other now. All right. The next one I had. What do you like the most about wrestling? Yeesh. What do you like the most about wrestling? And then what do you hate the most about wrestling?
Girl, come on.
Girl.
Okay, what do I like the most about the thing I like most about wrestling is getting to be creative. So like when I'm like really inspired, because like I used to be like a writer. I love writing. I like telling stories, blah, blah, blah.
Really?
I get the time to actually have a match, like my match with Willow, I got to go like 30 minutes and I was like, let's go. This is what I live for. So like when I get the time to tell a story or cut a promo or care about fucking something, like that's what I love the most. I like being creative and getting to express myself. The thing I hate most about wrestling is, I don't know, like the people who are mean to me. I don't know, like the people who are like, Alley Cat's a fat rat that's a fucking backyarder in her bra straps. What is that?
Okay.
Is your mom calling you? Is your mom telling you to go to bed?
Roommate, but chill. I'm just like, get the fuck off of me. Like,
Mom, stop.
I have a goddamn show here that I'm trying to make money with. So, but yeah, you have finish the last thing you just said.
Oh, so I love being creative, blah, blah, blah. The thing I hate the most is like the really rude anonymous people who are like I wrestled and this guy was like my bra. So like I've gotten gear made and I don't know why, but nobody understands how my body works. So my gear's a little like wonky and it doesn't quite fit. And I haven't like found a bra that fits my body and my gear together. So sometimes like my bra shows because I'm trying to make sure my titties don't show. It's like, which one? Do you want bra or you want titties? Pick. Don't pick. I'll pick for you. Bra. But this guy was like, Alley Cat is just a fat rat. Is like a fat backyard rat. She sucks. I don't know why MJF ever dated her. And like, I'm like scrolling Twitter and like, I see that and I'm like, did we have to say that? Like, okay. Like, I don't know. So like, that's my thing I hate the most is like the amount of energy that gets like sucked out of me sometimes, just like reading something and being like, anyways.
It's bad. I mean, it's like a bad energy, but those are the type of people that you like how we were talking about before that, you focus on like the good people, that bring you up and like, yeah, but it literally takes one person to say something and person of like, even most of the time, at least for me, it's people of like, you lost. I can't hear you.
Whispered. Somebody called you a youth pastor, and I laughed really hard.
Oh, I know. I fucking pinned it. It's those people that that have a lot of value in wrestling, and then you're just like, what am I doing wrong? Like they're any promoter or something like that. But it's when those fans or whatever say the worst things possible. It's like they like with yours is a little bit worse than anything I've ever heard. And you're just like, why do they bring in real life with you, but they don't bring it with me? Like with me, it's anything I say, like, anything I say and I do that I'm literally triggering them to bring in, and then, so I make out like a bandit, but I'm basically Nick Gage, I make out like a bandit. And with you, it seems like they just like, I feel like if you were a heel, that's all they would bring up. Is just like, well, who did she date? Like, I heard she dated this person. It was like, ugh.
I can't wait to finally be a bad guy one day and get to actually like interact.
One day, believe me, if they only knew you in real life, like.
One day I am gonna be, and I'm gonna torch the fucking ground that everybody walks on. But yeah, it's just like that's why I have to focus on the hundreds of people that do like me and not the one person that doesn't like me. But every once in a while, if I'm like on like drink number 5 and I see somebody like call me a like an ugly rat, I'm like, and then I go, wait a minute. I'm hanging out with all the people they wish they knew. Never mind.
I was gonna say for a second we were gonna leave it there. I was like, man, we're the complete opposite. Like, so like in my sober mind, I'm just like, yeah, did he mean it? Like, is there something I can do? Like, what am I doing wrong? Like, well, how can I change, man? And then you're just like, and then the second I have like a glass of wine, which is why it's Uncorked with Kit, is like I go and I drink it and I just go, And I go, yeah, you know, I'm fucking doing great. Everything's great. You know, everybody's great. Like, fuck them. Like, hey, yeah, is that what you think? High five. Fuck off. Like, you know, and
Like,
that's like,
it'd be one thing if people were like, you know, Alley Cat's cool, but like, I'm just not a fan of like the belly rubbing, or like, oh yeah, I just don't like how she does a pile driver. And I'd be like, hey, you know, that's your opinion, to each your own. But it's always people that are like, Alley Cat's a fucking slut, and she's only ever where she is because she fucked so and so. And I'm like, time out. Time the fuck out. Who hurt you?
it's
But
all
again,
about just, you
welcome.
know, it's not even just ignoring it. It's like, and not embracing it, because that's stupid. But I mean, it's just about like figuring out like the easiest way. It's like, hey man, sorry, you're not of his caliber. You know, like something like that. Like, I don't know. I mean, like, I'm not here to fucking come up with ideas.
And they gotta say what they want to say to feel better about themselves. And so I just let them, and then I mute them, and then I move on with my life. And then I go, guess what? I have a real life outside of this. So
yeah,
one day you won't be able to escape me because I'll be on TV. So it's okay.
Oh, that is such the goal. At the end of the day, it's like,
Yeah.
it's like all those people. It's even the ones that, like, you know, have nothing to do with wrestling, and you're just like in high school with, you're like, yeah, I can't wait the one fucking day you see me on TV, bitch. Like, it's like
One day you'll walk into the mall and my face will be on a t-shirt. And it's like,
oh yeah.
what do? You take care of your ugly ass kid? Sorry.
It's like, yeah, you think about it, and you're like, even when we go into like a Spencer's, you know, because we hang out at the mall, because we're in our late 20s, early 30s, you know, and you go in and you're like, I feel like I've gone in with like friends, and I would look up and I would be like, you know, I wrestled on the same card as the Young Bucks once, you know, and they're just like, and then like after you say it, you're like, oh God.
That's me. I'm like, you know, I'm in a group chat with Danhausen. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that?
Slowly but surely, just like want to fucking slam my head on the corner of like the table at you know, at the cashier's like thing.
But
And you're
then,
just
like,
like, oh
I'm
man.
reminded, like, when I go to like my shoot job, I'm reminded that like they don't, like, all the girls that I work with are like, oh my God, Allie, what'd you do this weekend? And I show them one clip and they're like, you're so cool. Like, they don't care about how many likes I got. They don't care about how many fans are there. They just see a clip and they think I'm a star. And I'm like, you have to remember that like it's so different for everybody. Like,
It's like my best friends from high school, you know,
yeah.
like they like, you know me as my real name and all that shit, and they just, you know, they bring me back to like reality, you know, a lot of the time.
Right.
Because like I'm to be honest, like more people call me Kit than, you know, my real name than ever. Like, and it progressed to that. It didn't just change overnight. It took, you know, over the course of a decade for that to like happen more. And then I'm like, and that's like how I judge it almost. But like anytime I talk to my real friends, like there's like a, you know, my one buddy messaged me randomly, who I haven't talked to like in like 2 months at the time. And all he said was like, you know, man, you're the only person that I met, or the only person that I'm friends with, that actually said he was going to do something, and then he actually did it. And then I was like, yeah, but like I didn't do what I really wanted. And he's like, yeah, you did. And then I'm just like,
we get so caught up in these like arbitrary things and like these goals, and like we continually compare ourselves to our peers that we forget that in the grand scheme of things, like, I am a wrestler. Like, I said I was going to become a wrestler, and I fucking did it. Like, just because I'm not on TV, or just because I'm not here, doesn't take away the fact that I'm not a wrestler. So it's like, again, that's something called imposter syndrome. You should look into it, Kit. Listen, I'm super into like my self-help stuff now. Like, I love myself now. Like, y'all can't tell me shit.
I feel like like I said earlier, I'm like, man, maybe I should subscribe to your newsletter. But that's really what it is. It's like we like, that's why I'm so happy to have like my friends that, you know, that I can go and hang out with, and then and we don't have to talk wrestling. Like, they're not wrestling fans, and I'm like, dude, that's so fucking great. Like I need that for like, it's like I don't always need to live the business. because all I'm going to do is get frustrated. And then eventually I'm going to go to a Denny's and I'm going to have an aneurysm and my head's going to slam on that sticky table, you know, and then somebody's going to be like, see, he just wasn't meant for it. And you're just like, fuck, like, you know.
Like, I can't, everyone's path is different. And like everything, like wrestling, it's an art. Like, it's not a sport. So like sports, if I can, I don't know sports, but like if I can do like a free throw or a this or a that, it's like I'm going to get where I need to go. Like everything is in numbers and in yards and in feet or whatever the fuck. But like wrestling, it's an art, just like a book, just like a painting, etc. So you cannot measure that with numbers. You cannot measure that because everyone's opinions are different, etc., etc., etc. So like we get so caught up on like, why is so-and-so getting flown and I'm not? Or like, so-and-so has only done this for 2 years and I've done it for 10 years. And it's like,
and that's what I fucking hate. That's like when I bring up Jordan, I go, Jordan, like, first of all, he's been doing it for 5 years, I guess. And like, but he's been doing it like, I'm like, dude, he just did it right. Like, you know, I'm sorry that the stars aligned and that like there were more people that it wasn't as harsh as it was for like, for me, for example, like, you know, just like, oh, hey, you're a smaller dude. Like you can't, you know, it's not believable for you to have any offense ever. And the only thing you can ever win with is like a roll up, you know, but then you're just like, you know, obviously like times changed and if I were to be bitter about that, then I shouldn't be in it. Like, it's just like, dude, people grew up and all I think of it is like, wow, people smartened up, you know, and I'm sorry that they, and like, and if I'm bitter about the fact that they didn't go through that bullshit that was wrong, then that's like, those are the people that just need to go. Like, you know, like, fuck that.
exactly.
You know, but it's like the way wrestling has been going has been so good. I think, you know, whether I succeed or I don't, like, you know, is based on like, you know, who I am as a person and my character. But it's one part is understanding, and it's the other part doing something about it, right? So it is what it is. But I think we're all doing pretty damn well.
Yeah, especially for me in a fucking pandemic, brother.
Yeah, right. Yeah, great fucking timing. Like you think about like dudes. Oh fuck, what's his name? Why am I just drawing a blank all of a sudden? He just retired, and it's like, holy shit. Just Thunder Liger. Jeez, I can't even say it.
Oh yeah.
And like, you know, he retired during the pandemic. Like, that sucks.
That sucks, but also that is a testament to how over he is. That he's like content with where his career went.
Yeah.
And
he's done it all. He's fine.
Yeah.
But it's funny, like, dude, that guy retired. He had his last match. I haven't heard shit about him. Like, you know, I didn't see like a million, like, and this is like just comparing like WWE and like how WWE does it, but like Undertaker retired, and then I saw like 8 million WWE 24/7s, like, you know, interview here, and now I'm like, wow, dude, the guy's name, like, I mean, I knew it already, but I'm like, I'm really looking at him and like, he's Mark now, like, you know, but and I don't blame them for doing it that way, but they're like,
get your money, girl.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, dude, make trillions of dollars. Like, I'm sure if you know, Saudi Arabia calls, like, man, it'll suit right the fuck up. But
he did that cinematic match real quick. He was like, "Thank you for inducting me into the Hall of Fame." Anyways, AJ Styles, let's go. And it's like, why the fuck not? Why?
Yeah, absolutely. There's fuck
this
that.
business owes us nothing, so let's drain it while we can.
Yeah, I'll do 1 million cinematic matches. They're the most fun I've ever had in my life. The one I did with Casanova, like it got super over, and it was the easiest night ever. It was the easiest day ever, and the only thing that sucked was that we took a break, and then we literally like, all right, action, and I'm on top of the treehouse to do an elbow drop, no adrenaline, nothing, and I'm just
okay, yeah, that sucks.
And I'm like, wow, this is like 1,000 feet in the air. And it really isn't.
About like taped shows, no fan shows, is like my adrenaline is like so low. Like, it's so pathetic. I'm like, I walk out the curtain and I'm like, yeah, no one here.
Yeah, there's nothing. It's so weird. You're just like, dude. So we did this well, it's Synergy Pro Wrestling. It's an up and coming company, that's not getting shut down because of some piece of shit. This company, that I wrestled, actually wrestled Casey Gattal,
Oh,
and
okay, cool.
we did this,
Oh yeah, okay.
and we did this one thing where I was like, hey, I started doing this neck breaker on the outside. And I thought, like, this is kind of like devastating because most of the time it's like, it makes that big loud smack and there's no weapons involved or whatever. So yeah, we did that, and there's no fans, there's nobody like giving you that like super
There's
adrenaline.
no like, oh,
And we both,
holy shit.
yeah, we both hit that mat and we both laid there and we were like, fuck,
You're
that was
dead.
not a good idea.
Yeah. It sucks, dude. Anything no fans that I've done like has hurt 5 times more because I take a bump. Oh fuck! What the fuck? Why am I doing this?
We did it at the Monster Factory, and we looked at that mat, and we're like, "Oh, dude, there's a mat here." It's like it might as well have been a no piece on the fucking ground. Like it did not matter. It didn't fucking mean shit. But I remember that smack, and then I remember her in my ear going, "Oh." It's like, I was like, "Yeah, same here." Like, fuck.
Yeah. Let's just
Sorry.
chill. Let's just. I've had that moment where I'm like, no, stay down, stay the fuck down.
And you can't even talk. Like the thing is, you can't even talk.
Because they pick up everything.
Yeah. You're like, hey, let's don't make sure you don't forget anything because God forbid I have to fucking remind you.
I just had, and I can literally hear myself going elbow, and I was like, oh fuck. I hate it here.
I hate it here.
God damn it. Kit,
so,
I have to let you know, my phone's going to die. I'm on 2%.
That's cool. I have 2 questions for you. We'll run through it, and I swear to God, if it fucking dies, I'll kill you. What do you want to be remembered for?
It's hard because I want to be remembered for being somebody who changed the landscape of professional wrestling. Like I want to either if I can be a Sarah Del Rey that gets remembered for being a woman that like killed wrestling
and she was fucking awesome, and I wish she didn't stop wrestling.
I want to get signed and I want to annoy her enough that she's like my William Regal and she has like one match with me, like Chris Hero and William Regal. I want that. I want to wrestle her so bad. But like if I could be a women's wrestler that changes the landscape somehow, like a Sarah Del Rey, like a Lufisto, that's what I want. Or if I could change professional wrestling from the inside and be like a well-known promoter, if I can be a women's promoter instead of like men running women's shows, I want to be a woman running a well-known, like good women's show. That's what I would want to do. I want to make wrestling better despite everybody not letting me, like whatever.
And I think you have like a good platform to start with Alley Cat's Real Hot Girl Shit.
It's
going to watch it kill in Tampa. It's gonna be awesome.
That fight forever. Look, my girls can fucking go. Okay.
Yeah. But obviously in Tampa there are no fucking rules. Watch it get a lot of steam. I'm telling you, like I have all the most confidence in it. Especially it's a Friday morning at 11, right?
Yeah. So I think we're halfway through Mania at that point. Everybody's kind of still alive.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you have Thursday, which is the real first night. Mm-hmm. And then that first night, and then they're like, yeah, this is the first morning that they have to have the first morning of being hungover. And they're like, no, we got to get through it. And when they get there, they're going to wake up the next morning. They'll fuck themselves. But, on a Saturday morning, I guarantee nothing. So, and then the last question, bucket list. Like if you have anybody that is still possible for you to work with, you to wrestle, and you can name a couple, who are they? And then you bitch. And she fucking left. This is why you got to be prepared. But we'll get that. And then I might just add it to I might just add it to the podcast when I get it. So you're gonna have to wait. But all I was gonna do is what's the bucket list? Who is the one wrestler, if not a couple, that if you had somebody that you could fucking that you had a chance to work with, if they were ever to listen to this, if you guys were ever to share it, who would it be? And then tell me why. So I'm sure it would be something very good. It was awesome having Alley Cat on my show. She rules. I've never had a bad time hanging out with her. And hopefully we get the work, tag, whatever. I don't give a shit. But she's an awesome worker. You guys definitely got to check her out more. And thank you, everybody, for listening. And also $50, like shit, like to this random Victory Institute that supports LGBTQ. That was who I wanted to. I wanted money to go to today for a charity. I don't know anything about Victory Institute. Please do the research because I didn't. I'm going next week because I just didn't know I just thought it would be something that I would recognize, and I was wrong. So I need to do more of my my research. So next week I'll have like a good one that I can at least tell you guys about before I invite the person I'm interviewing with. So again, I appreciate you guys all listening, and I'm going to cut it off here and say this is Alley Cat's bucket list.
Okay, so my bucket list, like I was saying earlier, would either be to wrestle Sarah Del Rey, obviously, Jesus, or Orange Cassidy one-on-one. I was in a tag match, like a 4-on-4 with him at the LVAC show, and it was such like a highlight of my life. But I would love me and Jim one-on-one. Or obviously I want to main event like a very important show, like main eventing Real Hot Girl shit at Fight Forever felt very special and very important to me. But also I got a concussion, so I don't remember cutting the promo afterwards, and I didn't really get to enjoy it. So I would like one more shot at main eventing a important show and actually getting to enjoy it this time.